everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another NCAA College Football 25 video. We got the first gameplay trailer, a deep dive, a blog to go through, a lot to talk about, and basically we got our first look at gameplay for College Football 25. Now, if you guys missed the video over on my main channel, I actually flew down to Orlando last week and got to play this game early for a couple hours, and I really enjoyed it. The game felt very fast-paced. It definitely did not feel like Madden 24. It didn't feel like a reskin of any Madden game at all, and there were a lot of good things about it. Now, the main thing that I want to drive home, and we're going to go through this blog, we're going to be playing the trailer in the background. You can find it right in this article as well if you haven't watched it yet. We'll link the blog down below in the comment section as a pinned comment. Again, you'll probably be seeing the trailer loop throughout this video. The one thing that I just really want to maintain as I talk about all the features that are in this blog and my experience as well is that you have to understand that I only played the game for a couple hours and I really did enjoy it, and I really think this game is set up for future success throughout the year. But when it comes to these types of things, we're not really going to know how the game truly plays if you're an online player specifically, until the masses get their controllers and play themselves and people start to discover bugs and plays that are really, really good and hard to stop, and that's going to be on offense and defense. Is this game going to be perfect? Absolutely not. Will it have problems? 100%. Can it still be a good game? Hopefully so. I am very encouraged by the things that I heard from all of the EA devs while I was down in Orlando, and they gave us all these presentations on different features. And today we're really only going to be talking about gameplay. There should be more information on Dynasty and Road to Glory and things like that. Hopefully Ultimate Team information, because that's what we focus on this channel, and that's primarily what you'll be seeing leading up to the game. We'll be giving you information as it comes in, but for the most part, if you're new here, we're going to be playing a lot of Ultimate Team, and that's for the most part what my videos on this channel will be focusing on. We'll definitely do gameplay as well. So let's kind of go through this blog. There is a lot, and I personally feel a little bit overwhelmed right now even making a video on this stuff, because there's going to be things that I skip, but I really just want to focus on, you know, what I think was the important things and the things that I can give my input on for my experiences playing the game for a couple hours early last week. So I'm going to skip this pre-game section. Feel free to go read through the blog on your own. Stick work. There's definitely some new juke move animations, and the juke, and I'm going to do a lot of comparison to Madden 24 because that's the most recent football game that we've been playing. The juke in this game is not like overpowered as it is in Madden right now, and you know, we'll talk about abilities in a moment. For me, I didn't really experience any abilities at all. There's no X factors in the game, but I just don't know how this is going to play for regs teams versus what we're going to be able to do in Ultimate Team. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. But the stick work, the control, running with the players felt pretty, you know, free and elusive. The game speed is really fast compared to other titles. I played a game with Syracuse and Kyle McCord, who had 79 speed. When I stepped up in the pocket, and the blocking was very nice as well. I almost wonder if it was too good, because a lot of times I felt like I had forever in the pocket. But when I was able to step up in the pocket and actually run with McCord for a 79 speed, it may have even been 78, and of course these ratings can change, he felt like he was a 90 speed quarterback. I was actually shocked. So the game itself just plays really, really fast. Now, I want to talk about this wear and tear system. I love the concept of it, but I'm a little worried about how it's going to factor in when it plays Ultimate Team style. So it appears that it's going to be in online play, and I'm just going to kind of summarize it. You can read through all of this on your own, but basically as your players, and this is any player in the game, as they compile tackles throughout the game, hard hits, hit sticks, they're going to basically somewhat get injured. The system's called wear and tear. You can see from these graphics here that, you know, the red obviously means bad, orange means it's getting there, and the white is going to be, you know, they haven't been damaged yet. But as your players get through the game and get tackled and things like that, their ratings can actually decrease. And well, I think that's really cool from a Dynasty and a sim standpoint. I'm not a fan specifically with Ultimate Team. If they do it with regular teams, I'm okay with that. But if I go out and I spend $100 on a pack, right, and I pull one of the latest and greatest new cards, or I'm spending my money or my hard-earned coins on a card, and then I jump into a very online or highly competitive online game, and like my $100 player all of a sudden isn't performing to the abilities that I expected him to because I paid that money for him, I'm going to have a little bit of problem with that. Now on the flip side, because I'm going to see both sides of this, for those of you that hate people who run the same play over and over again, I think that the wear and tear system could have a big impact on that type of play style. This mini paragraph or two under changing the game is a really good one to read regarding the wear and tear system. It basically says like your gameplay decisions now come with physical consequences for your virtual players, adding another layer of authenticity and balance to the game. And I think balance is a really key word there. It's not just about the immediate win anymore. Now you have to consider long-term health and performance of your team. I think that last sentence is more going to be taken into consideration for dynasty modes, because you could have your starting quarterback get hurt and they could be out for several games now because of this wear and tear system. So you have to be careful when you're playing against the CPU. Again, I kind of maintain my stance on I don't know how I feel about this one when it comes to online play. With the introduction of wear and tear, fatigue has been completely overhauled. Wear and tear accounts for physical impacts. Fatigue is primarily a conditioning feature designed to provide more realistic snap counts at the college level. And of course, you'll have the ability to make substitutions in the game. From an ultimate team standpoint, the depth chart could be extremely important. Having a good wide receiver 4 or 5, a defensive tackle 3 and 4, a middle linebacker 3 and 4, to throw them in the game for a few plays and let your other players rest could end up being a big strategy to avoiding injuries and your players getting decreased when it comes to the wear and tear system. There's a lot of talk about the option game and RPOs and things like that. RPOs were really good when I tested it out, so if you have a hard time stopping them in Madden 24, it might end up being the same in College Football 25. We'll see how overpowered they might become, or if the wear and tear system can have any type of impact on, if you hit the quarterback as soon as they throw that RPO. We'll see. It kind of talks about how to do options and the specific button presses. I'm not going to focus on that. I will say that you're probably going to run into a lot of very gimmicky offenses when you play online because of the different playbooks. We were told that every single player or every single team basically has a different playbook. Now, there are going to be plays and formations that overlap, but there's no one team that has the same exact playbook, all same plays as another team. So that's kind of the mantra they're going by with the 134 ways to play. And I think when you run into online competition, you're going to see a lot of options, triple options, the Army, Navy type style offenses, because it's fun and it's just a big switch up from the more pro style offenses that people run in Madden Ultimate Team and Madden in general. So this paragraph shells, and I'm not talking about turtles, very corny punchline there, but this is really interesting. So basically, you can use your right stick and change your coverage shells, meaning that you could change it to a cover 3 look, right? But you could come out in cover 2, you could come out in man coverage. It's basically removing like base alignment, and whatever shell you set up with is going to be the alignment that they come out in. So I think it's more a strategic standpoint for how you run your defense, and I really like it. If you struggle reading coverages and somebody you're going to get somebody who is good at covering or using these shells to cover up what they're actually running, you might be in for a long day. You get to unleash your creativity with these options, just like real life coaches, to confuse opposing quarterbacks. So this is going to be, from a strategic standpoint, a really, really nice feature, and I hope it's something that we also see in Madden 25. Abilities. So there's going to be 80 abilities to start out with, and I think there's some screenshots floating around that go over all of the abilities, or not go over them, but shows all of them. So we'll put that on the screen at some point. There will be no X factors in this game. Now, again, I don't know how this is going to play on the Ultimate Team fields, but with regular teams, these abilities are going to be preset or predetermined on the players, and obviously the well-known players really good players are probably going to have them, and those things could change throughout the year. There's going to be physical abilities and mental abilities. Each of these groups are further divided into tiers: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. The most a player can have at any given time is 5 physical abilities and 3 mental abilities. So again, I don't know how that's going to be impacted on Ultimate Team, but a player running around with 8 abilities seems kind of crazy. Some examples, they say, for instance, consider our new Grip Breaker ability under the physical category. This ability bolsters a defender's capability to disengage from a block, so it's basically like get a block shed, at the bronze and silver tiers. This ability is only applicable during run plays. However, at the gold and platinum level, it also applies to pass plays, which affects, with its effects significantly amplified. Another important note to make here is that the abilities a player can have is solely based on their archetype, which is something that we kind of saw with Madden initially, and then they got away from that. Again, I'm speaking from an Ultimate Team standpoint. This is all kind of coming from a regular standpoint. You see the screenshot on here with Travis Hunter and all of the abilities that he gets, and there's a handful of physical ones, and then he has 3 mental abilities as well. Mental abilities, on the other hand, are dictated by the the position of the player, so not just the archetype. I really like this. It says, while creating abilities, we kept gameplay balance at the forefront of our development. I know how people feel about abilities and X factors, and they think the game would play much better without them. I actually enjoy them, but I think, there are ones that need tuning, and as long as they seem balanced and there's not more overpowered ones, or like when we talk about knockouts, right, there should be an ability that counters knockouts. As long as every ability has a counter to it, I'm okay with it. A perfect example, they say here, is the new Pocket Shield ability. This progressively makes the offensive lineman hold blocks better on standard pass plays. However, even at the platinum tier of this ability, it doesn't apply if the distance to the first down is more than 10 yards. So basically, if you're in a second, third, fourth, and long, it's not going to activate. So that's a good balance feature right there. You'll have to stay on schedule to reap the benefits. Lastly, it's still possible for a lineman to lose that ability at a platinum tier. So it sounds like they're going to be static in a sense that, dynamic in a sense that they could actually change throughout the game. That's very interesting. The field general ability is what brings all of this together. Here's how it works. So bronze tier blitzers are highlighted, but only after the snap. This gives players a basic level of awareness, but requires for them to react quickly. There's a video that's going to play in the background here as well. Silver tier players can spot blitzes before the snap, but only if they're close enough to the line of scrimmage and for a brief moment. The gold tier unveils all coverage shell momentarily, giving players a glimpse into the defensive strategy. And then the platinum tier allows players to see even disguise shells briefly. This is designed to ensure that the defensive player can make strategic adjustments in response. So you can see each ability kind of has its own set features as you go from bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, and I kind of like that. Coach Vision was a thing that one of the lead creators, gameplay designers of the game, came up and talked to me and Eric Rayweather about this as we were playing. So there's a way to, I think it was you hold on the right trigger or R2 on PlayStation and then move your analog stick, and you can check the composure of your players. So it's all going to be showing you kind of like by a green and red bar. It will also allow you to see your blocking adjustments and also the wear and tear system. Again, that's going to be called Coach Vision, I'm sorry. Basically, there's just a bunch of different ways to see various things. You can see the abilities pre-snap, which we have in Madden currently. You can see matchups, and I really like this one. It basically tells you, like, do you have a favorable matchup or not? And it's all going to be dictated by color. So obviously green is going to be good, red is going to be bad, but it takes into effect ratings and also the wear and tear system. But it's, another feature that feels more sim to me. And if you're running an online dynasty or just an offline dynasty, you're going to be able to, kind of tell stories throughout those things and have the gameplay match up. When it comes to online, I don't know how impactful it's going to be in Ultimate Team, but it just seems like there's a lot that you can customize and there's a lot that you can pay attention to before the snap to have an impact on how every play goes. Stadium Pulse is back. Home field advantage is going to be a thing. Again, I don't know how this is going to play when it comes to an Ultimate Team game mode. I know I've said that about 70 times this video, but this should be here because it's college football, right? And college football atmospheres and environments and the crowds always have such a big impact on how games factor, how they end, and I want that in the game, and I love it, right? So you're going to hear a lot of like stadium sounds and crowd going crazy. It's going to mess up your hot routes and things like that, things that we've seen in the past. Your audibles might come in a little bit slower there. There's going to be a bunch of different ways to impact the game you can see on this video, and really it got me to thinking like how soothing it's going to be when you're on the road and you're dotting up your opponent and you shut that stadium up and everything kind of feels calm again. I'm more so looking forward to that. So there's going to be a lot of different things that come along with that. I think it's going to be similar to the momentum bar that we saw in Madden 23 and Madden 24, but you'll have the stadium pulse instead. It's hard to really see it in this video, but kind of pay attention to the B receiver on the right part of the screen here on this video that keeps looping. Basically, they introduce what are called route stems. And if you like to pass the ball, the creativity that you're going to have, and there's a lot of new like audibles and hot routes and things like that, but route stems allow you to pretty much make a route go where, not go wherever you want, but the in route is a good example, right? If it's standard a 5-yard in route, you can use the route stem feature to pull that route and have it go 20 yards before it breaks in. You can make it go 15, 13, 17. It's kind of like a drag and drop feature. So the one thing that I always hate, specifically in like house rules, is if I ever wanted to do a 10-yard out route, you could usually do the smart route feature, but if you were playing house rules where there's no first downs or it's like 1st and 20, you couldn't do that. Now with this route stem, and again, hopefully this is something we'll see in Madden 25 again, if you have a 4th and 13 and you need that normal in route that breaks 7 yards in, if you need it to carry up the field a little bit more, but maybe you want to go past the first down marker or shortly before the first down marker because you think that you can get some yards after the catch, you have that ability. And I saw Henry and Dubby playing against each other. Henry was a demon with these like really deep posts. He kept setting up these route combinations where he had a post that normally would break maybe 10, 15 yards. He would have it break 20 yards downfield, and he was setting up a bunch of one-play touchdowns. So I think it adds, again, another level of customization and a skill gap. If you're not going to be able to stop this stuff, I don't want you blaming the game on this one. You need to figure out some defense. And on the offensive side, if you can figure out route combinations that work with these new route stems, I mean, it could open up the passing game a ton. Now, they also revamped the passing features where there's basically like a meter, and I didn't really notice it too much when I was playing. Like, I didn't have too many incomplete passes unless a receiver was covered and it was just a bad decision by me. But I will tell you, the ball trajectory is really different compared to Madden, and as far as I know, at least I didn't play with any type of like set feet lead or pass lead elite, but you definitely noticed that there were a lot of passes that you could, or a lot of throws that you could like loft it over a defender's head, and you didn't have to worry about the linebacker jumping 40 feet in the air. We don't know how abilities are going to factor into those things with linebackers like we have lurk artists and whatnot, but passing definitely seemed different and some of the same, meaning you can still throw bullet passes like they keep showing over in this example, but there was more control on the throw. I don't know if there's any freeform. I'll be honest, I never even tried to make a freeform pass. I only had limited time to play the game, a couple hours, so I couldn't test like every feature in the world, but overall the passing definitely felt more authentic, and I liked it. And if they keep the velocity abilities out of the game, I think I'd be perfectly fine with that. It's just something that would, we'd have to take to getting used to. The switch stick is something I love the feature. I just didn't get a chance to really test it out, but the best way I can explain it is if you get caught on your D line, you can use the right analog stick and flick it up or in the direction of where the ball is going, and you can quickly switch on to a different defender. And I think for the people who are going to be skillful at this game, you're going to be able to catch a lot of user lurks, a lot of people slipping, if you're able to master this mechanic. So I like it a lot. I think it gives you more control on defense, and I think it will slow down the offense. And with as fast pace as this game plays, I definitely think early on it's going to be an offensive game. You're going to see a lot of high scoring. So for this feature to somewhat help the defense, I really, really like it. You can see this video that's looping in the background. Look towards the right. The guy's on a corner. As soon as he throws it, the stick, you just flip right onto the safety, and boom, you got yourself a user lurk. So more control, the better. Playbooks and team play style. Again, 134 ways to play. There's crazy like option plays, auto motion plays. There's a lot. There's going to be a lot of plays that work, a lot of plays that don't. I'm very curious to see what the meta is early on and what playbooks people go to, being that there's so many options out there. And you know, they basically have a lot of the authenticity of the play styles of those college teams. I've talked about how fast the game plays. This paragraph about the tempo game is really important. And for all of you nerds out there that like really love the authentic football look, and I don't know if they're going to move this over to Madden as well, but you know how you know huddle, right? You just magically appear to the line, but there's a runoff on the clock. Well, the referees, not only are they on the field, but also they come, they get the ball, they come spot it before you can snap the play. That was something that I kind of noticed right away. So that's pretty cool from a realism standpoint. Also, if you guys didn't notice, the scoreboard's now at the bottom of the screen. That's going to take a little bit of getting used to. I'm going to have to move my face cam a little bit there. But I like the scoreboard layout. I know some people have problems with no ESPN stuff. That's just, you know, stuff that doesn't bother me. There's a lot on this blog. I'm skipping through some of it. I think the final thing, let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything else. The final thing I'll talk about is the kicking meter, and I actually like this one. So you have from side to side accuracy, and you want to, you know, get that in the middle, but not only that, then the arrow fills up, and you actually don't want to go all the way to the top of the arrow. You want to stop it just short, as you can see in this clip, to get like the best accuracy. So number one, I think it's going to make field goals more difficult, specifically longer field goals. But in the college game, like, college kickers suck. They miss a lot, and I actually like this to where like an extra point isn't even guaranteed. Obviously longer field goals are not going to be, and I'm very curious once again how many of these new features, including this new kicking meter, will be moved over to Madden 25. But we did see on the ability list that there are going to be abilities around the kicking game that might slow these things down. But I'm actually all for new mechanics or new displays and how you kick field goals and extra points. I feel like the old way has gotten too routine, and I could probably make 100 extra points with my eyes closed. Now it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So I like that. A lot to digest today. Let me know how you guys are feeling down below in the comment section. But overall, I'm very intrigued by everything that when I played the game myself, and everything that I saw in today's trailer and the blog kind of reiterated a lot of things that the devs talked to us about regarding the game. But none of this is going to matter until we all get our hands on the controller and actually see how it plays for each individual person and to their liking, and also to wait and see, just how scummy online might get, because that is always going to be a factor when it comes to online games, whether it's football, shooters, you name it. People are going to do whatever they got to do to get the advantage and win games, and that's just something you're either going to have to deal with or not play the game or play offline if it frustrates you too much. I'm out of here for now. Probably a long video, but thank you for watching it if you're still here. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.